Harry Keith here from the Handyman Can. Yeah, today I'm just doing a little video on plastering the wall, so I'm just going to give some hints and tips if you want to plaster a wall and you're not a professional. So this video is aimed at beginners, people who are just trying to maybe plaster one wall in the house or get the hang of it, maybe practice it. So hopefully you find some useful tips in there. And as I said, it's not aimed at other plasterers, other professionals, how to do a better kind of thing. It's if you don't have much skill and you want a few tips to make it a little bit easier. So feel free to slag it down in the comments, but I guarantee you if someone who hasn't got much experience uses these techniques, they'll be able to plaster the wall to where they can paint it. So make of it what you can. Okay, so we're going to plaster this wall here. It's an old boarded wall, a bit dry, so we put the PVA with a bit of grit in it, just to give it a grip, seal a few things in. And we have our plaster mixed. If you're just a beginner, you could make the plaster a tiny little bit thicker than this just to make it easier to use, but that's thick enough, it's not falling off the trowel. And you can put it on the wall, it won't slide on the wall too much, and then come back up and kind of spread it out. So what you want to do is start from the top and work your way down. I'm just filling the little hole here. We're going to put a bit of plasterboard into it, and put a screen tape over it, and then we'll get going on that. Okay, so what we want to do is not that. That's never good. Now you can't use expensive tools. This is a cheap plaster block. It was only a tenner, and this trowel is a B&Q. It was only a tenner. Normally you'd use like a Marshalltown, but if you're just doing this job for yourself, the cheap tools will do you. You will get there eventually. It's a little bit more work. And you get a little bit of stuff on your hawk. There's plenty of other videos about showing you how to. I got a video just specifically showing you how to get stuff off the hawk, and for the time being, we're just going to show you how to on the wall. Now, a lot of plasters will go like that from the top down, but it's very easy to put it onto the coving or onto the ceiling. So what I like to do is get a little bit on the tip, go about an inch below it, and then come across like that. It's much easier to get a spot that's not going to go everywhere. You just get a little border across the top. At this stage now, you're just covering everything. You're not worried about getting it flat and straight too much. Just get it on the wall before it starts to slip. Now we have a hole here that we have stuffed. I'm going to fill over stuff, and then I'm going to get a bit of screw and just cover it over. Make some wide screws for that piece of wood. And we have a hole on the bottom going to do the same with it as well. So when you're off your top bit, you have your little line across the top. So it's easier to get a little bit on the thicker trowel as that. Go about quarter inch below where you're going to go, move on, and then bring your trowel across it and then kind of up to where you're finishing. Easy enough without going everywhere. And after that then you can just kind of put your edge, pull out. You want to hold your trowel not flat on the wall, a little bit off, so you're spreading the stuff evenly. Your top square covered. This will be a little bit slower for you if you haven't done it before. You may drop some stuff. Take small bits at a time. Try not to trowel down because you push your stuff off the trowel. Come across and up. Don't worry about lines over that ground. Just get a coat on it. just put a coat across it, and we're going to coat the whole thing. We just work our way down. Now I'm not putting this on very neat just to show, because if you're only laying it, you're probably not going to put it on too neat. Normally I'd kind of flatten it in a small bit so load it on. So that way there, once I get it on, cover the whole wall. Now you will get certain walls, old dry walls, where the stuff's going to go a bit quicker, so you will have to seal them a little bit with some PVA glue, or I use PVA glue to sand it because it's a nice grip and it seals it in well. It makes it easier to pass over. Freshly boarded wall, you'll have a bit more time on. What you want to do is slow down construction a little bit, so you have more time to get your plaster. Now again, the same thing applies to the bottom. Just go down about an inch off the bottom, and then slowly bring it down to your third board on your floor. So instead of just getting the coat on is your main objective. Cover everything. Don't worry too much about little bumps and humps and lines at this stage. The stuff that's too soft, just figure them out. So you just get it on, get it covered. You will get little awkward spots like where you're going around boxes and stuff. You can use the front of the trowel. Again, we have a hole here, and we need to fill in and screw. So put a bit of that, and then sit there for a minute. The rest of it around it. You can put it on a little bit too heavy if you want. You're not getting coverage. And we can kind of take that off on the next one. Just get everything covered for now. And now just put that hole. Just go to the length of the tape. I'm going to have to cover the hole. Just press them in gently. That will take a little bit longer to go off than the rest of the wall, because you'll get the stuff you made. You can sit fairly gently and then just kind of come back at the very end. Now when you take it, that's it. Just go over over it. Just kind of cover all your tape. Just well hidden. You might not get on your first go with that. It's going to show you go. What you do now is let this set for 5 minutes. So you probably won't have to, if you've been a bit slower getting it on, by the time you get it on, maybe you already sort of start to step here. Now, as I'm doing that, it's leaving little fingerprints. When it's near set, there's one here drying a bit. You're going to get tiny little fingerprints in it, and that's kind of ready to go. Now I'm going to start laying it down now anyway. You can lay down a little bit earlier, it's just easier to do if you let dry a bit. Just for the process of the video, I'm just going to show you here. So your second coat is basically the same as your first coat. You're just putting another ground. This time you're going to try and get it a little bit flatter. So you're going to put it on and then you're kind of going to go back over it. And this time you want to keep your trowel almost flat, about 1/4 of an inch off the wall, the front edge. You can see sometimes if you don't put enough pressure on, you'll get kind of holes in. So you just come back over, press a little bit harder, and again, you just do that the whole way down. Again, we're not too worried about getting it, you know, really flat at this stage. We're just taking the big waves out of it. And you got all the way down. Our next coat then will be a little drop of water, damp trowel. You can use a sprayer, it's very easy to use, or a brush, and you do the same process, but you're just using a damp trowel, just a little bit of water. That will go down a second time, then it will set a little bit, another 10 or 15 minutes, you do it again, and each time you do it, you get a few more marks out of it. The trick really is to get the next trowel that you're doing with the water. The next trowel that you're doing with the water, once you get that one on, that kind of holds the wall, stops it setting too quick, and it makes it kind of safe, as we say. So it gives you a bit more time to play around with. You know, plasters will do that, and then you'll go off and have a cup of tea. But if you're just doing it for the first time, you might want to kind of keep, you know, damp troweling it, just for the practice, just for the feel of it. And each time you do it, you know, allow a minute or two in between, you will get you know, more marks and things out of it. Yeah, the reason we polybonded this heavy this wall was because we found on another wall that the original board was starting to bubble. Not just the paper that was on it, but the actual board and the plasterboard. And we have a few of them here. So all we have to do is let them go a bit harder. We cut them, press them in, and then eventually we'll kind of fill them up and down. But you shouldn't generally have to worry about that. That shouldn't be something that's going to hurt a lot. So this time you're just flattening it a bit more. Take your time around the sockets, just pull it in a bit. And you can let the sockets off. Really the right thing to do. And you know, plastering behind it, put the sockets back on. But as I know, the person in here has never moved this socket and knows what to do if they want to replace it. And we're going to just plaster up to the socket. Now, so you have it all second coated. Still got plenty of lines and things, and don't worry about that. As I said, normally you wait now for another 5 or 10 minutes, but you can come back and just lightly run your trowel over and start taking the lines out of it. Now, another little thing, if you are only starting out and you're using a new trowel, get the corners and just rub them off the wall, block, and round the corners a little bit, and then get a bit of sandpaper, sand the edges of them, and then you will get less of these lines along the top. I'm leaning into that to show you the lines that happen with a sharp edge. But once you have the edge curved a little bit, you kind of curve, you know, you don't go completely straight, kind of curve down a little bit, and you'll be starting to take them lines out of it. So each time you do it, as I said, you get a little bit flatter. So we have to wait now for about 10 minutes to do that. I have something else to do, so I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so as I said, we'll do that now with a trowel, and you can use a sprayer or a sponge or a brush. What I do now is, another pass of this is I'll just shake a little bit of the excess water off. So I have a little bit of water on the wall to kind of work with. And then where I'm going, I'll give it a light brush. And yeah, people would say, I would have to put the lines in it. But it's actually kind of pulling it all together. And when you come with your trowel, then it goes much flatter. Then if this was your bottom line, you'll just go slightly above that. And it's probably easier just to go one direction, you know, get used to one direction. And then you'll have to come the other way when you get out of the walls. So you're going to do that all the way from the top down to the bottom, and then you brush in your bottom, shake your brush out, get a bit of clean water, run it on your skirtings. And the simplest method here actually is to put a bit of plaster tape across top of your skirtings. Now, all these skirting floors are gone, so I'm not worried about that. So you'll just make sure you damp the whole wall with a drop of water, and then again wait another few minutes. Although if you're already beginning and you're a bit slow, which is no harm, it'll probably be ready by the time you get back to the top, which is why I suggest you do a small wall first. If you do a big wall, you could get caught out, and you get used to it. And then each time you come back, you'll get a little bit more of the lines out, you'll get a little bit flatter. And eventually it'll be very flat, it'll go hard, and you'll be able to give it a good polish, good tear, where you're holding your trowel at an angle and you're kind of polishing the plaster. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So for the time being, instead, drop of water over the whole area, and then give it a few minutes. Okay, so we've let this dry for about another 10 minutes. Now, if you kind of stand to the opposite way of wherever the light is coming in, you can see the shine across the wall, right? Now, if it's wet looking, like in your first coat, your second coat, it'll be wet and shiny. You can see now where the shine's going out of it a little bit. It's starting to get a little bit dull. It's not leaving the fingerprints as much, and if you run your hand across it, it feels a little bit dry. That's kind of where we want it now. Now, you may have noticed on this wall that we have loads of these. It's the actual paper from the plasterboard bubbling. So what we're going to have to do here now, which you shouldn't really come across, is cut them out, which is a nuisance. Push the air out of it, and then fill it with a bit of stuff. Now, that is a bit of a nuisance because I have a few of them to do. Now sometimes you can just get away with just putting a little air hole in it, pushing it out. But I'll have to do all them. You shouldn't have to. And then we'll have to kind of go over another little layer of stuff and kind of let this go hard and use it as a base coat. In the meantime, when you're troweling this next time, again, drop of water. You can nearly do it without the water. And you'll see it gets a small bit flatter this time as you trowel it. You take some more of the marks out of it. So we're going to trowel it now from top to bottom, and again it's just leaving it there for a while. Now, again, push it with a drop of water. This time you see it's not leaving as many marks. The water's actually starting to kind of run down the wall because the wall's sealed in a little bit. Push in your top, again your steel air cone. Again, a smaller brush makes that easier to do. So you're kind of used to doing it. And then, this time, we will have to trowel again about 1/4 inch off the wall. This time we're going to put a lot more pressure on it. So a little trick is, if you haven't kind of built up the strength to do it with just with your forearm over, is lean against the trowel and then tilt your body forward and then pull it across and just use your body weight, which in my case is a considerable weight. But yeah, just lean into it with your body and let your body do it. And that way then you don't have to strengthen your arm. Now you can get a trowel if you're doing this sort of a good bit. There's a lot of them Houdini and I can't see anything based on that, but flexi trowels. There's loads of them, and the blade is flexible. It means when you press it, the blade bends back, and the blade itself then is putting pressure against the wall. Now you can only use it kind of from this stage onwards, or else it will put waves in your wall. But as I said, this is about doing it on the cheap tools. This is just a nice little square trowel from being peeled. Just lean hard on it, and then that will get the wall a bit flatter, kind of nearly safe where there's no big huge marks, and it means when you come back to it you're not going to have too much trouble. You've kind of got it all flat. And this wall, as I said, with a few bubbles, I'll sort that out, but for the purpose of videos, imagine that up there. And as I said, once you do that all the way across your whole wall, pushing in your edges on your skirtings, you can actually brush it in. If it was kind of gone a bit dry, you can brush it hard, backwards and forwards, up and down, or you can get a sponge. If it was gone a little bit hard, you can get a rinsed out sponge and just sponge it all, and you get this kind of swirly look, and that's going to put water back into it and pull it all back together. So if you had a few lines and bumps that you weren't happy about, that'll do the trick. And then you just come back with your flat trowel. You know, a lot of plasters I know will at this stage sponge the wall, the whole wall, just to kind of put it all in together. I don't generally, but yeah, I said you can. It's a good little trick. If a bit has gone a bit dry on you, you can kind of sponge it with some water, pull it back together, and then trowel it again. And that will work almost up until the last trowel. Maybe the second last trowel. So again, this is where we fill in the hole, so we're not going to go as hard here because we don't want to push into the hole or anything. It picks up a little bit. So again, I'll leave that another 10 or 15 minutes. And normally when you're plastering, I have another wall on, so I'll be off doing that. I'm going to come back to this, so I wouldn't really be stopping in between. I'll be sticking beads up around the windows, taping up skirting boards, you know, polybonding walls. So you will be kept busy. But if you're just a beginner, you've got the end and the top of that could be ready for another trowel. Now at this stage, we're going to leave that now until it's pretty dry. And what we want is, when we come back, we want that kind of to feel, if at the moment it feels sort of like a bit kind of sandpapery, we want it to feel like it'll start to feel like a rock, just like a smooth rock, a bit polished, kind of like the finished plaster. You get that a little bit of that feel off it now in about 10 minutes. And we give it another trowel, and after that you wait another little while, give it another polish. Now a lot of people, one more trowel that could be done, but I like to give it an extra polish, and the plaster itself will start to go, as we call it, you'll see on this wall here, black. So you'll get dark spots, and that's when the wall is near enough ready for the last trowel. And then later on when it's drying out, it'll all dry out kind of white, but you will get dark spots on that now in about 10 minutes, and that'll give us, you know, the wall start to pick up a bit so we can start to trowel it. Okay. Now another little tip is, when you take your bowl and you're cleaning it out, your bucket, take whatever little bit of stuff is left and leave it on the hog, and it'll be going hard at the same time as this. So if you end up, I'll show you now, if you end up and you're nearly finished and you knock a little hole in it, you don't want to be mixing fresh stuff to print with. So if you take the stuff that's setting at the same time and you press it into the hole and then come across, it'll dry in almost at the same time as the other stuff. And the other thing is, then when you get to the last trowel and the wall's gone hard, now plasters won't do this because they'll have already gotten a flat and all. You might still have a few marks, so what you can do is you can kind of take a bit of the fat off the board and put it on the wall, and then kind of push that into your little grooves, so you can still be kind of filling it on the last trowel if you haven't had it done before then. So don't worry about someone says, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, it's painted, you'll never see it. It just, you know, you might have kind of not pressed hard enough on the trowel, and you might have a little tiny dip here, so you can put a bit of fat on it. And then, now there's a perfect example, a bit of dirt on the wall. So now I have a hole, so again I come back and I take a bit of my stuff that's starting to set, and I just push it into the hole, and that will stay more or less in time with the rest of it. But if I put fresh stuff in there, it would be hard to get it to kind of blend in with the rest of it. So another few minutes now and this will be ready for another trial with the water, and then we'll just let it go black and give it a good polish. I said I have a bit of bursting to do now and a bit of filling, so I'll do that now and then we'll come back to that. Now this wall is going what we call black now, so you have like little black dots appearing, and that means that the wall, if you feel it, it's going to be kind of starting to go hard and shiny. And it means you can trowel a good bit harder. Now as I said, if this is your first time doing it, you may have little kind of dips and bumps. You get a bit of fat off your trowel, push it into it, and then this time you're going to be at a much more of an angle, maybe 2 inches off the wall, and you will press hard into it, lean your body into it, and you'll see where this bit of fat is actually filling in these little tiny dips. Now I have them because of them bubbles, but there's plasters out there screaming at this now going, oh, you can't do that, you should have that well filled by now. This is a video for people who haven't done plastering before. So you can bring fat with you right to the end, right till the very last trowel, and you can let it go a bit harder again and give it one more trowel, then we say plaster might need to give it. When we come back now and trowel that with a sort of drop of water, it'll shine up nicely, it'll all come good, and it'll all be flat and smooth, ready for painting. So I'm going to trowel this now from top to bottom again. Now, so as I said, where's my brush? Is that brush for that? When the wall is going black like this, you can then brush it in again. You can push it a little bit harder. Start from the top, come down and across your middle. At this time, you will have your trowel about 1.5 inches off the wall, so you can get more pressure on the side and lean into it again. You can use your body weight if you want, it makes it easier. Now, if you haven't done this before, you may knock a little hole in it, and that's what your bit of fat that you kept is for. And you can then go back and put a little bit of fat on the flat like you were doing the first time. Again, this is not what a plaster will do. For someone who hasn't plastered before, this is exactly what you should do. And you'll be filling in more little dips and bumps. Again, coming away from your edges. If you see any kind of little grooves or dips, put stuff across them, pull them in. And when it all goes black like this, we have it fairly flat now. When it's all gone completely black like that, say another 10 minutes, it means that we can come along again for a little bit of fat. And we'll give it one last on the fill and polish. And when it's all like this, then we'll let it go completely black, and then we'll just use a drop of water and give her a little shot. And that will be nice and smooth and flat and ready for plastering. Ready for painting. So that's basically it now. When it all goes like that, as I said, you give it one more trowel. You can use the fat. Again, it's not normally what a plaster to do, but if you're only learning, it'll get your wall in better condition. There's still a few lines to take out the bottom of this. So the middle bit's kind of gone, so that's what I was just showing you on there, and the top. And then when that goes a good bit more black, so when it's more black than not black, then you can give it a good polish, a hard trowel. You can really lean into it. And if you haven't got a lot of power in your arm, lean your body weight onto it and push hard. And that will kind of get it nice and flat and shiny, and it'll be ready for painting. And it'll save you some money. It's not the way a plaster will do it, but then you're going to have to pay a plaster a couple £100 to come in and skin the room. If you do this one wall at a time, you will eventually get the room. I will put up some more videos about beads and things like that, boxes, and then getting it ready for painting. But that's basically it. And it's very doable. Just take your time. You don't need expensive tools. Cheap brush, cheap trowel, cheap hawk. That hawk I tried at B&Q actually works almost straight away, and it takes very little wearing in, and it'll get walls you know, to a good enough standard to paint. You're not going to go out and become a plaster after doing it this way, but you'll be able to paint your walls. And worst comes to worst, and you're kind of were left with a few little marks, or you hadn't brushed in the corners properly, you can get a little fine sandpaper into them and paint it, and it's going to be good enough. A little bit of practice maybe, do it on a wall out in the shed maybe, or just get a bit of board and just try it a couple of times before you actually attempt a wall in your house. The trick is not to let the stuff go too hard in you, like this thing here that we've just put on. But as you can see, and you're saying to yourself, oh, maybe I need this trowel. That you don't, you know, it's way too soft because it's a heavy thing there. But you don't want to go too hard. So you could come along without any water and just give that a light trowel, and just to be sort of smooth out a bit more. Dips are better than bumps. Bumps you have to scrape back, dips we can fill in later. So if you have to have some dips, that's fine. Bumps are going to cause you trouble. Now, as I said, we had a few kind of little issues here with the paper, so we cut them, burst them and redone them, and now it's all back to flat. So that's basically it. So I hope that helped. If you have any questions, drop them below and I'll try and answer them, or I'll try and make a video about it. That's what I want to do. So if you need anything to do a plastering that you want me to try and have a look at, let me know. Thank you.